and welcome to the Wednesday Night War Preview Podcast. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Michael Sidgwick and Gareth Morgan from WhatCulture, here to look ahead to tonight's episodes of NXT and AEW Dynamite. But before we get into this, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts, where we not only review the Wednesday Night War, but also Raw and SmackDown, pay-per-views, we have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. But as I said, I'm joined by Michael and Gareth to talk about AEW and NXT. Let's start with Dynamite.
The best show.
An exciting show to follow up from Full Gear. And tonight, Michael Sidgwick starts off, could be the night that we see Chris Jericho become le double champion.
Patent pending.
Patent pending, indeed. This could happen, right? This probably is the right idea.
What does double champion mean in French?
Hang on 1 second. A double champion.
All right,
okay,
fantastic. I was a bit unclear.
But, you know, it's Jericho and Sammy Guevara taking on SCU for those tag team titles. And there's definitely an argument to be made that they should probably win them.
Well, I've got conflicting thoughts on this that betray my co-opted status as AEW's WhatCulture representative. Mm-hmm. But Chris Jericho's in a stable called the Inner Faction, which Jim Ross told us on Fight TV they have to get over. In that faction is a tag team. Shouldn't he be kind of looking out? They've also got a superior undefeated win-loss record than Jericho and Guevara. I know why they're doing this match. It's because Jericho is a main event star and he's going to pull that rating. It just feels like, realistically, given the framework that they're operating in, he shouldn't be in this match. However, I've got an idea as to why they're doing it. This wasn't pointed out by me, but during Chris Jericho's incendiary post All-Out scrum, in which he created the Le Champion character, a meme, and a T-shirt, and a prop, he, when marauding around backstage, was just giving pelters to everyone, bantering everybody off. He said specifically, Scorpio Sky, what are you looking at? You'll never get a chance of this. They really want to push Scorpio Sky. They should push Scorpio Sky. He's great. Could Scorpio Sky defeat Chris Jericho?
That could be a good.
Yeah, I mean, but it's giving an up-and-coming talent that massive rub of being such a titanic force, really, in AEW. But I feel like that, if they were to win that tag team gold, I think that's probably going to lean more towards some infighting in the actual faction. I think that would be a more interesting route to go down at this point. I think, yes, surely in a couple of months' time, that would probably be selling out a pay-per-view for the rest of it. But right now, I feel like there's definitely some... it's a bit early. Yeah, I know straight away I'm saying, oh, they're going to split up, there's going to be a massive... No, it's a bit early for that.
Good title for the pod, to be fair. In a circle breaking up.
Already, I know. They're shooting the load. But no, but I feel like that would... Just planting that seed, having that gold, having that kind of jealous look over the shoulder, like, okay, you've got a tag team here, and you're already taking the gold away from us. Okay, that's fine. Having that little seed at this stage instantly makes me want to tune in for the next week and the week after that, and just want to see how that kind of evolves from week to week in that faction, for me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a brilliant hook to make people just tune into Dynamite tonight, though, because obviously everyone's been talking about the ratings and the drop for AEW, the rise for NXT and what have you, but I'm divided between both, as I am every single week. One other thing that I cannot wait to see on AEW Dynamite this week, and personally I think they should probably open the show with it, is MJF's promo. We've been talking in the past about the lack of mic time he's been given, but...
For good reason, maybe?
Yeah, it arguably does make sense now.
They can inform this promo.
Yes. Exactly. So obviously, MJF turned on Cody at Full Gear. He threw the towel in and then subsequently kicked him in the bollocks. What is next for MJF and for Cody, do you think?
A hell of an epilogue to that actual match. I think when you look at the conflict in the actual what's the word? The actual can't think of the word. The execution of that moment where MJF was crying his eyes out and then just suddenly turned out of nowhere, like he had Cody in the palm of his hand and chose that moment when he had the entire crowd in the palm of his hand just to pull the trigger. You want to know, as an AEW fan now, what those actual intentions were, why this took so long, what's the
Catalyst,
yeah, for that moment. And I think MJF's such a potentially brilliant heel character. He's arguably at this point, just behind Chris Jericho, the biggest heel. He's now coming into this show as the biggest heel in the company, just based off his fan reaction alone. So I think if he could literally come out, and I know everyone's going to absolutely hate me for saying this, he could come out tonight, and literally stand in the middle of the ring, drinking the booze, and then Roman Reigns his way out of there. He could.
Yeah.
And that'd still make me want to tune in the week after, go, he needs to say something now. So this has, like, I agree with you, this has to open the show. If it doesn't, it's going to leave fans thinking all the way through the show, when is this moment going to happen? It'll probably detract from some of the action that you'd see earlier in the show as well. So, yeah, MJF needs to open the show.
There was, obviously, there's always points of foreshadowing and what have you, and people are pointing at previous scrums, and even MJF's comments going into the pay-per-view where he said, look, I know how important this is to Cody, which is why I'm going to be in his corner. Very quickly, do you think it was the right time to pull the trigger on this?
It kind of was and it wasn't, because if you've been following the entire story across being the Elite, AAA in Mexico, and then they're doing loads of great interactions there, and on the Road to series, this has been going along for a long, long time. And the longer it goes, the dafter potentially Cody looks for not seeing it coming. So I think, yeah, they possibly could have explored it more on Dynamite, but I'm firmly expecting the fact that MJF has had a reduced presence on the show to inform the power of his promo and to sort of retrospectively make sense of the fact that he hasn't been on the show, because he's going to say something to the effect, in far better words than I can express here, why wouldn't I have turned on you? Why was I even friends with you in the first place, if not to be the star of this show? Like, what did your friendship provide me? Nothing. I was on TV once. I think they've, as Gareth alluded to, have very calculatedly made a point of not putting him on Dynamite. Whether that works or not, I'm not sure. My only disagreement with Gareth, and I'll be so much nicer to you about this than I am with Michael Hamflett, is that
he's kicking me under the table.
we know the power of MJF because we're hardcore fans who cover. I think everyone listening here knows the power of MJF. That mythical casual fan base might not infer just how great he is on the mic, even if the fans are clearly going to anticipate his words. I think if it was another world, if they had better ratings, they could and probably should have done an angle like that to just build the heat on him all the more. But because he hasn't been on Dynamite and hasn't really connected with crowds, I think they can't really be too cute with it just yet. I want 5 minutes of fight. I think I'm just greedy. I think I'm just greedy for the exact same MJF promos with which he's lit up his character.
We've seen the horrific image of Cody's eye and all the stitches he's had to have in it.
Slash,
Indeed.
yeah.
Would you have him appear tonight, or be sort of more conspicuous by his absence?
I agree with the latter. I think having him show up and just kind of parade around the scar, we've seen it on social media. There's not much seen it in the flesh. It's going to be a little bit more healed. There's not going to be much more weight added to this feud. I think his absence would leave more space for MJF to probably steal the show, which you're alluding to. I don't see the need at all to bring him in. I'd hold him off for a couple of weeks. Like you're saying, they're not in a position probably right now to kind of play that waiting game because they're in a Wednesday night war with NXT, and they probably would feel the temptation to pull the trigger and have him come out with this kind of heartfelt promo where he feels devastated and he's lost his only chance to obviously fight for the world title now. But I feel as though he needs to stay off TV for a while.
Hangman Page against Pac is a match advertised for Dynamite tonight. How do you see this one going?
I'm not sure, but it strikes me, looking across from Gareth, that you are not unlike Hangman Page in your appearance, and I feel somewhat inadequate. So thanks for that, mate.
Sorry.
Great. Fantastic.
That's why.
I don't know. I'd like to see, just because the Hangman Page and Pac feud in itself has been a little bit repetitive, but it's fine because it's like beyond the norm of what AEW does, and the matches have been fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought on second watch their match at Full Gear was absolutely great. I think maybe a few structural issues obscured that. But I'd like to see Pac win. We've already seen Hangman Page versus Jericho. It's too early for him to win another match with Jericho. It would sort of underline what people have got problems with his character if he loses yet again. I think Pac and Chris Jericho poses a really interesting all-heel dynamic. And I think what I would love to see, given how great on offense Pac is and how great at selling being a little dickhead heel Sammy Guevara is. If we do see Pac versus Jericho, I'd love to see Sammy Guevara cost Pac that match, leading to a Pac and Sammy Guevara match or program, because I just think the storytelling there, the way they both wrestle, is just perfect for the way that they both operate.
For those of us who are like WWE fans at heart, hearing a heel versus heel match for the World Championship is surreal, but it is about shades of grey in AEW.
In AEW, and I'd probably say WWE itself, is starting to realise that fans aren't in a position anymore where we just want the black and white. We enjoy these characters that occupy the grey space. Look at Joker recently. That's a character that you come out of it incredibly conflicted after you watch that film. And I think people now enjoy seeing wrestling characters and obviously performers around the world that have that ability to fall into a darker place, but then equally make you cheer for them. The Fiend right now, most of his actions are incredibly dark and incredibly sinister, but then equally fans are cheering for it. I don't know if that says a lot more about the fan base than what it does the actual
And
characters.
Seth Rollins, yeah.
Yeah, big indictment on
We
him.
won't go there. But yeah, I think the potential of a heel versus heel match of that caliber as well. And I'm just kind of being a bit of a Pac nerd, but I'd really like him to go over and destroy Jericho and win the title. But
Yeah.
I can't really see that happening at this point.
Just one more note on that. Pac's in such a luxurious position because of how well drawn his character is. He intentionally doesn't do much of the spectacular stuff of which he's capable because he knows he's going to get cheers, but at the same time he's possibly better at it than anyone. On one of the episodes, it was against Trent, his flip dive onto Trent where he just landed on his feet but got all of his body on his body, just looked as graceful as it did violent. Pac can do this kind of stuff and actually get cheered for it in this context. So yeah, Pac's just the man. He's the best. I'm completely with you.
What do you see the fallout from Moxley and Omega being? Because obviously a lot of people talking about that, a lot of controversy surrounding the match, which we went into the other day. But yeah, what do you see next for John Moxley? Because it's an unsanctioned match, doesn't count towards the wins and loss record.
Is Moxley cleared for tonight?
I genuinely have no idea.
Because obviously it's been
Omega's
Omega,
not.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Kenny Omega's said that he isn't. I think he's working it.
Yeah.
Then again, he could probably be concussed after that ridiculous bump on the boards. But I'm pretty sure Moxley is the winner. If in reality he's cleared, he might appear on the show.
Him just coming through the crowd for something.
But yeah, I hadn't really given it much thought in what you're saying there in terms of the unsanctioned element of that match. It really doesn't count. That in all that brutality, all that insanity that we witnessed at Full Gear doesn't really count towards any of the wins and loss records. So I don't know where that places Moxley in terms of world title contention. In terms of feuds going forward, he teased that little like conflict with Pac. So whether there's a way he could cost, I don't know, he could cost him the match against Paige. There's that option, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, the sycophantic man inside me really would like to see him and Omega go at it again, but I don't know where you go really after that. That's one of the most extreme things I've seen this year. So I'm not too sure.
Right, let's transition over to NXT tonight. Obviously, this is part of the build to War Games, which is a week on Saturday. Before we get into the injury to Johnny Gargano and the championship match, we have to talk about the thing that's kind of leading the show tonight, which is that ladder match. So who gets the advantage as we head into War Games? Io Shirai versus Mia Yim for said advantage. How do you see this one going?
Just as a brief note on this match, it feels like total overkill for me. They're wasting a stipulation to build to their biggest stipulation. I think it just feels again like a desperation move on NXT's part. I just wish, because their product at its best is incredible, I just wish they wouldn't make it so overblown as a reactionary measure, thus wasting the luster of a ladder match in the process. And I'm not convinced it's that great an idea to put Mia Yim in a ladder match.
No.
Considering she's had like arguably the worst match of Shayna Baszler's NXT Championship run. Feel like that's a bad idea. Look,
The only caveat I can see is obviously she cost Dakota Kai her spot in that team, and there's a
Does
free
Dakota
spot.
Kai-
There's a free spot on Shayna's team. Yeah.
Yeah, does Dakota Kai come in here and make a statement? Is that
Yeah.
what the stipulations for? So she's got some kind of...
possibly, but so this is to hand one team the advantage in War Games.
And it
Is
has,
it?
yes, and it has to be. Always, I find this. Many people have many issues with War Games because you get very excited, and then actually during the match, aside from the spectacular, it's a little bit convoluted. And you cannot have a War Games where the baby faces hold the advantage, can you?
It's one of those where it's just a nice little quirk of the match. It's a required quirk of the match. The heels, for the psychological complexion of it, must hold the advantage. So that should really shape the result of this match tonight.
And Io Shirai shouldn't lose.
One thing I will say on War Games, just because people think I'm biased against NXT, is that I thought the first one was absolutely phenomenal. All action, made 2 stars in one night. An incredible adaptation of the old stipulation that accommodated a new, flashier generation of pro wrestlers. I adored the first War Games, where Michael Hamflett did not. I want to point that out right now for the sake of consistency and integrity.
And that's why I'm sat here.
Yeah. But, the second one was really dull and boring.
Yeah, I literally don't remember. I only remember Ricochet's spot in that. I legitimately cannot remember any of the moments in that match.
I just think with the lessons learned from last year's overlong, plodding match in parts, and just the makeup of that men's match, if they don't get it right on next Saturday, they'll never get it right.
No.
But moving on to the show itself.
How we were mentioning before the heel versus heel dynamic, that's such untrodden territory, and it's quite groundbreaking that is a thing. Is the argument to say that we could, for the first time, see a War Games match where the heels don't have the advantage for the majority of the match? I know it necessarily might not work, but just for the sake of something new, for the sake of a new spin on the match to keep it fresh.
Sounds like something they might do, especially with them being 2 on one night, but we'll see.
Well, you mentioned yourself before we came in here about Survivor Series and this NXT Men's Team that is yet to be announced. We know the Raw Men's Team, we know the SmackDown Men's Team. Who would be on your NXT Men's Team? Ignoring the obvious flaw of the fact that a lot of these men will probably be fighting each other the night before.
Yeah. They need a big dude.
Right.
One of the guys' team needs a big dude, purely because they're coming up against Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. So I'd say Keith Lee has to be in there. Keith Lee, based on what we've seen in the invasions, I can imagine Riddle's going to be in there. I can imagine Ciampa maybe being in there.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't like to overexpose him right now because I just want to see him focus on that title and focus on getting Goldie back.
And he's just recovered from neck surgery, and they're putting him in a War Games match in a match 24 hours after that. Feels ill-advised to me, as great as he's looked.
Would it surprise you, though?
No. You know what didn't surprise me? The fact that his neck was hanging off and they promoted him to the main roster. Jesus Christ.
Alongside all that, would you have Adam Cole in a match like this? Because in the audience's mind, if you have that, you effectively almost put him on a level par with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, who are looking after their teams.
Based on his kind of run in the invasions recently, he has been he's been placed in that position of team captain of NXT. So yes, but I'd be reluctant again because I'd sooner probably see him in an undisputed tag match. But I ideally wanted the OC versus the Undisputed Era at Survivor Series, so we're not going to get that now.
It's a fantasy booker's nightmare, this, isn't it?
It's just blowing my... Every other episode of Raw or SmackDown just completely throws the booking out of the window. You can't plan anything. So originally I was expecting to see Daniel Bryan maybe fronting the SmackDown team after facing Adam Cole, but now that's looking like he's going off down a different route as well. So I don't know. Again, I wouldn't like to... You need your champion. You need your face of NXT to be in one of these marquee matches, but equally... I want him to be focused on defending that title. I mean, it kind of dilutes the title itself if you put him in a tag match, surely. And
it's, as you always say, surreal that he'd be in a match with potentially 4 of the guys that he literally faced 24 hours prior. But let's not concentrate on that for now.
We've already done it enough.
Yes. Let's talk instead about Finn Balor. The sad news today that Johnny Gargano suffered a neck injury, of course, when Finn Balor attacked him the other week on NXT, and he is out of any participation in War Games. What would you have next for Finn Balor? And would you just hold off? Keep him away from anything War Games related and hold off for a Gargano feud perhaps in the January pay-per-view, or would you have him involved in War Games?
Well, yeah, I think it might be a moot question because I think they've already addressed it in plain sight last week with his inclusion in the post-match angle. We were all a bit confused by it on the review, wondering why they've muddied the waters. Were they trying to build something for a few months' time? Were they trying to further establish Balor as a tweener and not an outright heel? But my spider senses are tingling, and they tell me they knew of Gargano's injury last week and have decided to shoot something to make sense of Finn Balor's actions, and he will be the 4th man. on that babyface team.
Surreal considering he'd be defending a brand that he openly admits he doesn't like half the roster of. But logic's gone out the window a lot recently. A Cruiserweight Championship match also set for NXT tonight. Lio Rush defending against Angel Garza. Angel Garza's looked fantastic in recent weeks, hasn't he?
And I love that he slapped Lio Rush, because that doesn't get overdone now. No, but that's another match where you feel the Cruiserweight division has suffered a lot in the last year or so, 2 years. But I think now it's finally getting the attention it deserves, and NXT's proven to be such a brilliant platform for a lot of these stars. It's been the second coming of Lio Rush. I don't know if he loses the title tonight. I don't think he does, because he's probably at the beginning of quite a lengthy reign and quite a good reign, which is wise, really, because he's a good face for that title. I just want to see these guys flip around a lot and have a hell of a match, which I think if they're given the time to do that tonight, it's probably looking like it's going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd centre this show almost on simply 2 matches.
Yeah, indeed. I'm pumped for this. My overarching problem with NXT is that I just don't think it's fun anymore. I think they've swerved in a direction of, right, we're critically acclaimed, let's make that our calling card, and it feels a bit soulless and not as fun as the blue pants of NXT that I'm used to, of the Enzo and Cass. It feels like a lot of its soul's kind of been gone, but Angel Garza is so much fun that it feels like he's slotting into that old part of the sentimental aspect that I loved of NXT. I'd love to see him I don't think he's going to win, nor do I think he should win, but I'd love to see him look great in defeat, do his pants rip-off spot, make me feel like NXT is fun and vital and just a little bit different again.
Yeah, I really think this could be one of the best matches of the night across both shows, to be honest. Lio Rush versus Angel Garza. I really hope Lio Rush retains, because I've done a list talking about how great Lio Rush is recently, and that's not gone out yet. So please hold that championship for a little bit longer.
If you're listening.
Final point to make. Of course, as we mentioned, we've seen so many invasions across Raw and SmackDown and a little bit of NXT. More main roster invasions tonight?
Yeah, I would say so.
It just don't sound happy about that.
It's just
why? It's been a week.
The invasion thing's kind of run its course already.
Only a week to go.
Yeah, people will accuse me of bias, but I do kind of resent NXT's move to the USA, because I just feel like they're trying to do podcasts now with Corey Graves. It's not just...
Don't even try and muscle in on
It's
that.
not... Well, he can't, because he's crap and he's biased and he's not candid whatsoever. And he's not over either.
So welcome to our next guest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of resent the whole idea of WWE completely taking over pro wrestling. But they did, if I'm going to analyse it from a business perspective, they've played a blinder by incorporating NXT into the Survivor Series build. And I think they would be plain stupid not to capitalise on last week's near win. Still a loss. Last week's near win. And honestly, if they were smart, they would have an in-advance promotion of a main roster
tweet,
guy.
Isn't it? Just a we'll see you on Wednesday night sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they promote the hell
See
out
you
of
tonight
that.
or something
I thought the OC was a very clever choice as a team of, you're not the top stars of
Tippy top
of the main roster, and therefore able to eat that sort of loss, and yet wonderful images of AJ Styles in there with the Undisputed.
And they bypassed it.
Yeah.
It's in character for them to take a massive crap all over NXT. Yeah, inspired.
More main roster invasions for you guys?
Yeah. Again, I sound very deflated about it as well. But like you said, it's been... WWE have done their typical WWE thing, and they've got a new toy that's really good, and they've just beaten us over the head with it consistently for the last week. There is probably going to be another invasion. Who's going to invade? That's a different question in itself. I think I could imagine after Walter invaded and attacked Rollins and Adam Cole the week before, Rollins maybe turning up tonight. I mean, that'd be a massive coup for NXT just to provoke some more arguments and conversation.
Would it? I don't think I wouldn't watch it.
He might get.
It provoked conversation. He'd be like, "Oh, he's back again."
He might get. No, he won't get cheers. I was going to say he might get cheers back on home turf.
What if Rollins was getting absolutely battered in the middle of the ring?
Please.
Yeah, fantastic.
We're all in.
Sold.
We're all in for that.
No, he would get fairness heat. I still maintain that the best pitch for this, given what his story arc was like in NXT back in the day, given how he's like sort of the boogeyman amongst internet wrestling fans, you've got to get King Corbin in that NXT ring in Full Sail. It would be magnificent. Like his crap-eating grin, soaking in the booze. It would just feel like, oh, you don't belong. You never wanted to be here. You're not part of the complexion of NXT. It would just be a magnificent heel move, I think.
Yeah. I don't want him to get involved in the match, but imagine him coming out immediately following the Cruiserweight Championship match where he just towers over everyone. It's like,
Is
Yeah.
this
To the land of the
NXT?
giants.
Is this,
Yeah.
is this what you've got?
That'd be
I
an
like that.
inspired choice.
Either way, yet again, two TV shows that I cannot wait for tonight. Wednesday's the best day to be a wrestling fan, basically.
Well, Thursday's the best.
Well, Thursday reviewing Wednesday, yes, indeed. Right, well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
follow Gareth Morgan at.
GMorgan04.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. As I said, follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. This has been the Wednesday Night War Preview. My thanks to Michael and to Gareth. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.